Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and welcome back to another Steven Seagal of the Seagal-thon Marathon Out for a Kill, which I guess, hey, you like Out for Justice? Yeah. You like Hard to Kill? Yeah. So let's put those two titles together. Out for a Kill. Directed by Michael Oblowitz, who I think did The Foreigner. Could be wrong. You have a bunch of try-hard, overcompensating direction. Really trying to be flashy. And, okay, you do be flashy in certain movies. I keep saying flashy, and when I do certain videos, I say flashy as if it's a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. Sometimes flashy, if you do it right, could be fun, entertaining, and okay. So flashy direction isn't automatically bad, but in a film like this, it just streams. We don't have much, so we're trying too hard for that. The plot, you have American DEA agent and a Hong Kong narcotics cop looking over a crime scene, and they look at the aftermath, and then we see what happened, and these people coming in and shooting up the place. And it deals with the Chinese mafia, the Con, who control the entire market on drugs. And Steven Seagal's character is Professor Robert Burns, who's an archaeologist. You have some lines of dialogue that's not Seagal's voice. You have ADR lines thrown about, and his tone. It's funny, like the tone of voice of the guy doing the ADR is so off from Seagal. Like one would be pitched much lower, and then when Seagal comes in, it's much higher, or vice versa. The ADR would be much higher, and then Seagal would be much lower. Like it just abruptly cuts to it. And I'm telling you this as if you wouldn't notice, but you will fucking notice. And you get a lot in these direct-to-video Seagal films of not him, not his voice. How lazy do you have to fucking be to not do your own ADR voice? How fucking lazy do you have to be? And he does this consistently throughout his direct-to-video career. It's fucking stupid, it's silly, it's lazy, and it's not that fucking hard, Seagal. I'm sure they're paying you enough for it. But anyway, his character is an archaeologist. He even gets an award for it. And he has a assistant, a younger female agent assistant. And they find out that their containers with the artifacts are being used to smuggle drugs. Bad guys find out that they find out. You have a little jeep chase, which results into this badly CGI, totally inspired by The Matrix, because I think the sequels were coming out around this time of 2003. So it's CGI Matrix bullets following from the bad guys into the little jeep that Seagal and his assistant are in, and it shoots and kills the assistant. Fucking bullshit CGI Matrix bullets. And then Seagal gets set up for that murder as well as for drug smuggling. And then we have the bad guys, which I guess these bad guys, they spend their entire fucking lives in this one room smoking cigars, because we only ever see these guys in this room. Like throughout the entire fucking movie, which takes place days and maybe weeks and months, anytime these guys have the same clothes on, they're in the same fucking room, smoking the same fucking cigars, they must live there, they must pay rent there. Just every fucking time. They're like nowhere else. They're in that same fucking room. So, and they love chewing the scenery, and they love saying the word guaylo, which I know is an insult to white people. But they say Guaylo all the time. We gotta get that Guaylo. Oh, this fucking Guaylo's messing with our plan. Oh, that damn Guaylo. Again, literally every other dialogue these people in this one room say, these bad guys, it's Guaylo. Guaylo. I get it. You love saying the word Guaylo. That's like Rob Zombie loves the word fuck in his strips. We get it. You love the word Guaylo. We get it. Maybe they met Seagal in person and they just couldn't stop saying it. I don't know. But, so again, they love being in that room, smoking cigars. They love chewing the scenery with over-the-top acting. And they love saying Guaylo. So the American DEA, who's with the female Hong Kong narcotics cop, one of them wants to use the professor as bait. Because Seagal's in prison. And you have this random business with this roommate who talks about how he got busted smuggling weed and all those rag-headed motherfuckers. And then Seagal gets let out and the guy goes, "Don't forget about me, Burns." I'm like, you guys just met and chatted for what in movie time was 30 seconds ago. And already, "Don't forget about me, Burns. All we know is you're a black guy who you didn't want to deal with these rag-headed motherfuckers and you were smuggling weed." But he's telling Seagal, "Don't forget about me." And then Seagal talks to the father of his assistant that died. And he's saying shit like, "Mind is a mirror. Don't let it have dust." And shit. And then there's a funeral. And then these guys, the bad guys, want Robert Burns dead, I guess. Seagal dead. So you have some smoke and explosion. These two bald men in yellow have swords. And you have some decent swordplay, but it's a bit silly as well. And the bad guys find out that Seagal is not just an archaeologist. He was once a thief. He was known as the Ghost. I'm like, what does a thief have to do with being a thief? So if you're a thief, automatically you're also a guy that can kick ass, apparently. But then he's with his wife. And there's a little fight in a restaurant with really over-the-top slow motion. And also, every time he kills someone, he lifts their sleeve and there's a tattoo that is a part of a riddle. And if you put them together, you find out at the end something, which I'll get to. But anytime he kills someone, he has to lift their sleeve. Or maybe his double has to lift the sleeve and read this. And they all form a sentence. Also, this is one of those movies that loves telling you not only where something's at, but what time it is. For example, it's not only in Connecticut, but it's in New Haven, Connecticut. But not only that, it's Sunday. But not only that, it's 11:30 p.m. So in case you don't know, this is 11:30 p.m. on a Sunday in New Haven, Connecticut, where Seagal is sleeping with his wife. Thank God I know what time it was. Thank God, man. Whew. Otherwise, that would have been one of the questions I've been asking. What time is it? I wonder what time it was at that. Oh, it's 11:30 p.m. Thank you, movie. I'm so glad. And then, for some reason, Seagal goes outside looking. And then the house and his wife gets blown up. And you have this awkward shot of Seagal's double flying back as the house explodes in front of him. With this, like, awkward down, like, angle. And Seagal, this is a reaction to his house being blown up, and more importantly, his wife dying. Fade to black. Literally, that's his reaction. Just, I was like, this is literally his acting. I'm the guy that enjoys his acting in Above the Law and Out for Justice and other films of his earlier work. Here, it's like, people made fun of Van Damme. Watch Wake of Death when he finds out his wife was killed. When his wife dies, Watch his reaction when he watch that, and then watch this, and then you tell me who the better actor is. Van Damme, hands down. And hell, that was 2004? Weight of Death? And this was 2003? Watch Weight of Death and watch this. You tell me which movie is better. Weight of Death all the way. That's why Van Damme, his track record for direct-to-video films is much better than this fucking guy. And if you've been with me, you have seen how I've enjoyed a lot of his early Seagal work. But this direct-to-video shit is that shit. And so now he's like, I'm going to go after them. And he talks about how, they say kill 1 to war 100. I might have to kill 100 to warn 1. And then Seagal gets on a plane with someone. And then Seagal takes control. And he says, I am crazy. Gets the guy to tell him. And it cuts to, for some reason, the two agents, the DEA and the female Hong Kong agent are there. And this horrible green screen where they're on the ground looking up at the plane. It looked fucking silly, horrible, ridiculous green screen shit. So the guy on the plane tells Seagal some info. Seagal goes to this barbershop in Chinatown. And you have this over-the-top shit, silly shit, where Seagal fights one guy who acts like a monkey. Seagal even tosses him on the wall, and the guy literally climbs on the wall. It's a lot of wire fu shit. I'm not a big fan of wire fu. If you like wire fu, you'll probably like it more than me. But I hate that wire fu shit. I hate that. I'm not interested in people on wires flying around as if it's fucking Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I don't like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Again, I'm not a big fan of those kind of movies. The guy climbs on walls, insanely stupid wire fu. Ultimately, Seagal grabs like a white coat to drag the guy and chokes him with it. Pretty much this scene here. Kills him, finds more riddles on the guy's sleeve, on his arm, under his sleeve. Throughout the film, at the beginning of the film, and throughout the film, you have this over-dramatic narration from the female Hong Kong narcotics cop that should have been taken out of the movie. Seagal comes upon a game of mahjong, and you have a little bit of fighting, throws one guy out the window. Two cops, they go to Eastern Europe and deal with this tattoo place. And one of them gets dragged to the basement. Seagal follows them. Does like a wrist flip of a guy. Like, does a wrist takedown, flips the guy. Some little fighting. Helps the cop out. One of these gets in a little car chase, which is alright. Ultimately comes up, breaks the guy's neck. There's another scene where it takes place in a laundry place. And you get this moment where they're both punching at each other, but Seagal's punch is more ferocious, I guess, and it hurts the guy's arm, hurts his hand, and fucks that guy up pretty easily. The American DEA agent dies. You have this weird scene where the guy's coming out of a room, and it seems like it goes on forever, this slow-mo. And the dialogue keeps repeating about how he's going to take his partner deep-sea fishing. Hey, you gotta take the fish. And hey, you listen to me? Hey, you listen to me? You gotta take the fish. And you gotta go, I'm going to take you deep-sea fishing. Hey, you gotta take the fish. And you gotta do this with the fish. Hey, are you listening to me? This is literally all the dialogue's coming out as a slow-mo of the guy walking out the door. And then the bad guy has a gun on him, and then he gets shot. So I guess that was supposed to be artistic measure by the director, but it was just silly. It was silly. This is one of those Seagal films like Belly of the Beast. It's in the silly shit category. Maybe it's not the boring shit character. Like, The Foreigner is boring. Today You Die is fucking boring. Black Dawn is fucking boring. Belly of the Beast is silly shit. This film, it's silly shit. So like, it measures from boring as fuck to silly shit. Boring as fuck to silly shit, but it's all incompetent as hell. And so while that partner dies, it's only the Hong Kong female agent, no, cop I should say. Because Seagal gets there too late, shoots the two guys, goes to the final bad guys. He, I think, gouges two guys out of their eyes. We get reference of the tattoo riddle 2 times at least. And I guess the main bad guy wanted Seagal to kill his people on purpose to not share his fortune. That's what the movie says. And the guy runs out, places on fire. Seagal gets a sword and throws a CGI sword, and then the guy's head gets cut off. And by the way, Seagal is on the second story of a building, and he throws a sword, and a CGI sword careens all the way down and cuts the guy's head off. And he uses that tattoo riddle to open up a safe that has a bunch of shit in there, gives it to the narcotic female Hong Kong cop. And then the last scene is both of them at some, I think, cemetery or something of that nature. I can't remember at this point. Out for a Kill, was it as boring as The Foreigner? No. But the fight scenes, you have a bunch of fucking wire fu, which I'm not really a fan of. You have a bunch of try-hard, flashy direction, which again, sometimes that can work, and sometimes it just screams trying too hard. And maybe this is a film people will enjoy to laugh at. Some of the silly shit. I'll tell you what, it's not one of Seagal's worst direct-to-video films, but that's a sad state of affairs. I mean, it's only 90 minutes long, and that's with end credits, so it's an hour and 20-some minutes long. And the only good I can say, it doesn't get that boring. It goes at a decent pace. It's just silly shit or bad green screen shit or, well, that one scene. Bunch of wire fu shit and a guy acting like a fucking monkey. And anytime an action comes up, it's very over the top. Just very silly. Just not for me, not my cup of tea. I don't care for Out for a Kill. And, you know, The Foreigner and Out for a Kill, like I said before, I'll say it again. It sets up these two things. Either it's silly shit or it's boring shit. Foreigner is boring shit. This is silly shit. Belly of the Beast is silly shit. I mean, well, actually, it sets up 3. Boring shit, silly shit, and oh my god, what the fuck shit. You fucked up shit. Well, all these movies he fucked up, but I'm talking about films like Attack Force and fucking Against the Dark and Submerged that you're like, what the fuck were you doing? I'm just repeating myself. I just want to move on. Out for a Kill. Out for a Donut.